Yeah. It's actually so spiritual DNA is something that I am continuously unpacking because that is my karma, is my genetics, right? And it's interesting because the diseases I have come from one family line. And it's a part of the family line that used to be the most judgmental about me and have turned into constant, like, asking for help from me. And
Mhm.
then as I was unpacking what's going on with me, it was like, oh, it's not just like there's your physical DNA of your physiology, and then there's your spiritual DNA. And it's funny how you will pick your physical DNA off of your spiritual DNA, right? Because you have those relationships spiritually, and then you continue to go through the karma of that until you resolve it. And at some point, someone is the person who gets to change it all. And then you have to change your DNA, right? Yeah, for your whole family. And it kind of like works. I know Coco Collie has been a part of some of me trying to change that in my family. And it's interesting because like my RA seems to be the thing that is just really coming at me right now. And it's hard to go through as I'm short of breath. It's hard to go through that experience because you're still stuck in this construct, right? Like, so you go get Reiki healing and you have to go through layers and layers and layers of that. You have to go through hypnotherapy and layers and layers and layers of that. And then, as I'm going through this whole life journey of changing that spiritual DNA, do you change it in this lifetime? And
Mm.
then at the same time, like, how do you acknowledge and ignore those signs? Right. So, like, my siblings and my children have suffered from a lot of the sameness, but as I've gone through rituals and practices and therapies, theirs have been relieved. And then I end up getting like another, like, okay, here's the next layer. And so it's very interesting. So, like, my whole mission right now is this RA DNA. And I'm just curious as to what you guys think of it as I'm like going through it myself. And it is, I think you all know, like for a year I've been struggling, and we first thought I had a broken heart, and then going through that, and then, well, do I actually have a heart condition? Like, and going through that. And now it's like you have to go through Western medicine to check the boxes to make sure the body's healthy. And then after that, you have to go through the energy that's been implanted in your body and healing that. And then going through the spiritual side of it, of healing the past and future. And so I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about it. I would probably elaborate more and get on a bigger soapbox, but I just don't have the energy to. So go ahead. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I think it's just such an interesting topic because I don't know about you all, but I was raised with the idea that our DNA is our DNA and you can't change it, right? This is part of your physiological inheritance and it is what it is. But as I dive deeper into understanding spiritual science, Vedic science, from different lenses, um, I understand that this is something that we can heal ourselves at a molecular level, at a DNA level. And like, what does that entail? There's so many different ways to do it, but I feel like there's this intimate relationship with I know I talk about ego a lot, but I feel like ego is so misunderstood and that like there's a clinging to identity that doesn't always serve us. And
Yeah.
when we allow the ego to dissolve and we surrender into whatever process, we can bring about the power of the universal healing that is needed to change the DNA, to change your identity, change your future, both from in your inner space and in your external worldly experience. And so when you talk about having a specific ailment that we want to shift, it is it's totally possible to transform that. And how do we surrender our relationship with the identity of that thing? Because that ego relationship that I have in my mind with this being a materialized thing is what continues to make it real. So if I can dissolve that identity, that ego, that tie, that relationship, then that energy can return to the source and metamorphosize into something that now totally serves me instead of harms me.
How do you do that though? Where, like, practically.
Yeah, for real. Um, I honestly don't think that there's any one technique, right? I think that it's a practice and a process, and that we each have to find our own path. Part of it is study, educating ourselves, learning about spiritual science through whatever your faith is, whatever your mechanism is for understanding spirituality. There's a pathway through any of those systems to this which we are talking about. And so I
Mm.
hesitate to like call out a process, because if you study Kabbalah, you'll learn about this. If you study Vedic science, you'll learn about this. If you study the highest levels, even of Catholicism, you will learn about this. So it's following your interest. And I think approach it with curiosity and a willingness to let go of any preconceived notions about what we think things mean and what is real and not real. We have to kind
Mm.
of be able to be willing to let that go a little bit in order for the mind to transform and allow the spirit and the body to follow.
Yeah, but when you get into that, right? And I'm genuinely like poking at this, right? Because like I think of
Mhm,
it like in my experience is use string theory, that vibration, that band that is so embedded in this DNA.
mhm.
Like I haven't found that band yet. And so when
Stop
I,
looking for it.
but then how do you even resolve it?
See? That is the conundrum, because that's
Mm.
the ego saying, but I need something to grasp onto, to hold onto, to identify with, to be able to say I am changing this. But the thing is, I am not the doer, right? The cosmos, the universe is the doer. That's where the true power comes from. Like my power is so limited. I can only do so much because it's based on what I can see, touch, feel, recognize, which is only like a pinhead of what is possible in the universe. So if I can let go of all of that, if I can allow myself to surrender any attachments I have to any of that, then I can truly connect with universal power and allow things to dissolve and transform.
And I think that's almost like a moment to moment to moment thing. Because I'm like you, Jessica, where I'm like, how? What are the steps I have? Like I am like that. And the past year I've gotten really into Kabbalah. Like Coco Kali, like you said, like the thing, you'll be guided to the thing that you're supposed to be guided to. And it has been so amazing for me in the past year. And in Kabbalah, they teach you that we all have our kind of soul corrections, got karma, soul corrections, like, and it's that question of, am I going to correct this part of my soul in this lifetime? The goal is yes.
Mhm.
and and we see, right? We're going to go through what life is bringing us. But the thing that I think has helped me so much with the surrender, the letting go, is knowing that the divine is the doer. Um, to pause in the moments that I want to control and remind myself of that. To know that in any moment a miracle can happen. And I now approach, I mean, I can leave that belief often, but then I come back. It's like, I need to know that I can open my door and the love of my life can be standing there. Like I need to be in that mindset of like, I need to be in the mindset of like, I can turn the corner and I meet somebody and they're like, here's $10 million. Like I just, you just never know what can happen. Or like clients I work with who are going through physical things. It's like part of what I'm helping them with is that belief system that you can heal, that your body can heal, or that our mind is so powerful to like, I can talk to your cells in hypnosis, right? But I think the other thing that's helped me, they also say in Kabbalah, not to make it like a Kabbalah thing, but they use the word certainty. And that's really, really helped me in these moments of, I don't know how. I don't know how things are going to be. I'm
Right.
in pain, physical pain, emotional pain, whatever the pain is. I don't know how, but I have certainty beyond logic that it's going to be okay. And that
Right.
has, I can't even tell you how much that has saved me this year. But
Do
it's
you
hard. I'm a control freak too.
do you think this is good, Emma? Do you think that because I understand that the how is the ego, right? That's
Mhm.
us constantly trying to control the situation. And we live in a physical world that has been designed before us. And oh, my appendage is waking up. Sorry. Um the but when you think about it and you're talking about like letting go of the how, and Coco Collie jesting about, asking like, how do you change this? And I appreciate the laughter because I kind of think the same, but I think it too as manifestation. If I don't acknowledge that there's this DNA thing going, then I'm also ignoring that physical experience of the opportunity to heal it. And so the how to me is more about identifying it than it is correcting it, because I do believe that. I mean, I personally, this is not my first rodeo, right? It was super funny this week talking to one of the MAs and being like, no, no, uh, let me just explain. Like I was passing a kidney stone in the ER, and because I wasn't sure if it was a kidney stone. I was like, listen, there's a lot of pain that's come up in this area, and it's always been something different. And I was like, we just need to make sure that it's not these drugs. That's all I care
Right.
about. And they're like, well, you passed a kidney stone, you have another one passing. And I'm like, is that it? And they're like, yeah, we could give you this for pain. And I'm like, I don't need anything for pain. I'm like, it's a 4 millimeter kidney stone. Come on. Like, I pass 20 of these a year. But for the MA that had to call me, she couldn't, in her own experience, have that understanding. And so I had to say, like, no, you're asking me to give you a pain scale, and that's self-interpreted. I've died twice and passed kidney stones 8 millimeters and all these other things. So let's talk about something else. Like, I'm concerned about the drugs. That's what I keep calling about, not the the how. I don't want to know how to get out of pain. Like, I believe that I can manifest health because I have so many times. And do you think that when we get stuck in the how and looking for that certainty, we're looking at Western medicine that is not trained to heal spiritual DNA? And that it's very difficult to find a solution, like you guys have pointed out. There's several of them, and maybe you need all of them,
Mm-hmm.
But is it similar to manifestation?
Isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? And it isn't it? Um,
I
it
love
is
that that just
manifest
became
like
a song for you.
it's totally manifestation. But like I think we start learning about manifestation from the place of being I am the doer, right? I want a house.
Mhm.
I want the fancy car. I want to make this salary.
Yeah.
I want these things. And what is it going to take for me to manifest that? And then someone teaches you, well, back up into the goal. Like, okay, this is what you can do in this 3 month period to accomplish this. And then break that down from 3 months to 1 month and break that down into each week. And then I'm going to do these tasks. And if I do these tasks and I stay on track, then this result will come out of my work and my effort. But when we're talking about spiritual science, we're really understanding, we have to begin to understand that if I desire something, it's because it's there for me.
Mhm.
Like you wouldn't be able to conceive or imagine something that is not already your reality. So instead of what can I, little I, do to make this happen, and I'm not saying it's absent of that effort or energy output, we get to still do those things and move towards this reality that already exists for us. But now let us surrender into our future as our now. And then that way we can have that confidence beyond logic, beyond material. Like I don't see it in front of me right now. I want to manifest a travel van. Well, I'm sitting in a car right now, not a travel van. But I know that that travel van, I believe beyond all doubt that that is in my future. I just need to accept it's part of my reality now and bring it closer to me. I need to surrender into that belief stream, and instead of nitpicking, but I don't have it, but I don't have the money, but I'd have to work this many hours, all of the logic it out things about me, little I being the doer, trying to make this happen, I just have to believe it is there for me as I move forward with peace, grace, love, surrender, and belief in whatever action is put before me to do next as the way.
And I think it is a combination of all of it. Like, yes, we have Western check off all the boxes and stuff, but when they have their limitations, when they have their this is the way things are, that's when you say, I'm not gonna take that in, and I'm gonna go do all my other things as well. It's not easy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, and the Western system is definitely a system, right?
Mhm.
And it's designed on monetization and financial wealth and currency. And I have some strong feelings about that. That's why I'm getting the PhD in functional medicine, because I'm like, no, I reject that reality. But it dawned on me going through this, like, surrendering. Okay, the first time I surrendered to health challenges, I was presented with, oh, you have a mind, body, spirit disconnect. Go fix that. And fixing that did fix the challenges I was having. So then I sit and go, okay, well, that's what I did. And now here I am again with a new layer of it. And so it's to me an opportunity to expand and continue my whole breaking free from societal constraints of the systems, and leaning into that because I have these other thoughts and ideas about things. And I do appreciate very much what you say, Coco Collie, about um it's there, like that thought, that idea is there because it is possible for you, even if you don't realize it. And which was a really great thing because as you were expressing, most people, when they manifest, they're actually manifesting currency. They're stuck in
Mm.
this construct of our physical world. And I think when you start trying to manifest other things, everything falls in line anyways. When you manifest one thing, other things just fall in line with it because you're in that vibration. But I think that that's a really good point that we should point out. And I know that that just added value to me of like, yeah, it was like shaking me, like, stop being
Mm.
stuck in this. Like, it's obviously here for a reason, and just keep going towards that because the how will unfold. Raquel, I would assume that you get this a lot with clients, not necessarily health, but this construct of like this spiritual DNA and people trying to come out of it.
Understand. Yes, to understand. It's so deep. I think there are so many layers and understanding to that. And I like the word believe or belief that Coco Cali said. I made some notes here because there are so many things going into my mind. And I think like I understand, as you said, spiritual DNA. I like your spiritual blueprint And the choices that we've made before being here that we may remember or we may not. And then I think this also goes into karmic debt that I was checking here and karmic files that we have. And the chosen challenges that we decided to bring. But also, when I hear you, I think we chose this path, but we also have our free will
Mm.
once we are here. And I think this constant fight that we have, trying to understand, and I love when you said, because it goes with what I'm thinking, your opportunity to expand because you're so strong and you're so spiritually high in connection with your higher self. And whatever is with you, know that you can. So you did it once and you're going to keep fighting. And that's part of your spiritual growth. I think that is the path of keep choosing because you can defy things and you can find answers and by finding this, you can break a lineage with your ancestors. Maybe you can break it from the past, so your next lineage don't have to fight for that
Mm.
or lessen be lessened. So it's very, very, very deep. And I'm so sorry for all you've been going through, but I don't know if it's sorry because you are fighting it. You are strong. You are the person for it because of this vibrational energy that you have and manifestation. Yes, you can get better and you can cure yourself because it's vibration and you have to be very high at that vibration and you've changed things already and I believe that you can change again. So those are my thoughts and some of the explanations that I try to give people according to their level of knowledge. I lessen a little bit, but I think we all here can talk at this level, which is a very deep level.
Mm. Mm.
Wendy.
Uh, I love this topic so much, and I'm finding that like as things are coming up, there was like something was said, I think Coco Kali, you were saying about like study, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, none of those, no. Um, and so I'm like, okay, well then what is it, right? I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to study.
Right.
Um, that's just not where I am right now. If some like if that is of use and drawn, the magnetic draw, then yes, for that person. But that just doesn't happen to be me. So I'm like, okay, well, what would I do and what am I doing? I'm trying to identify the things that I'm fighting or resisting. Because like me and fighting, that's I'm not going to win that one. So like how is how and when I say that, I'm like, okay, we've been taught to fight. I was brought up in a couple of different relationships where um it was nearly demanded that I lose in a fight for my safety and survival emotionally. And so like fighting is going to get me more fighting. So what are my options? And so like looking for the options of like if I don't want to fight it, but I also need to surrender to something about like reality, my current reality, then what are my options? And right now, earlier this year I had a some trauma to my brain. So like I'm having a different experience of my physical availability.
Mm.
Oh, okay, that's new. So lately, it's looked like, oh, I have to go lay down and be available to receive the next right action or
Yeah.
thought or um thing I'm drawn to. Um,
Yeah.
it's tedious, is what I'm gonna say. And that's not how I was like in fifth gear was my favorite. And now I'm hovering and I'm kind of grinding between first and second gear mentally, right? So,
Yeah.
okay, I don't have this capacity or this physical energy and I'm going to trust it because that's what's happening. That's what's here and available now. And so if I need to go lay down in order to receive, then I'm going to do that. And I'm going to like work. How do I work with my brain and the capacity I do have in a way that I can nurture openness and nurture availability in places that I'm like pissed off that I don't have anymore at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to love it. And how do I work with myself? What I have available right now? This is all just very in the moment stuff like what Emma was saying earlier. For me, is oh, am I even available for that? No. And so like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and trust it. Like,
Right.
and love that that's available for someone in the world. That's also an option for me when I'm ready, when this body is available. So those are some of my oh, and the other thing, this is a really good one. I I'm laughing with myself, my previous selves, because I had a lot of experience being trained in our constructs to like find the answer, similar to like, oh, do you need bread? Be sure, like, have you tried every store, including the hardware store, for bread? Bread's not
Mm,
at the hardware store. So I don't go to Western medicine for a spiritual solution, personally.
mm.
Some people might. If that's where it is for them, yes, great. It is not there for me. That is, I'm looking for bread, not at the hardware store.
That's
Word.
a good way to put it.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I
And
think
it's hard
that's,
to learn. Like, I was told to look at all the stores, which
Yep.
is very satisfying for like check the boxes kind of brain. And we have that system, like where there's insurance that we pay a lot of money for if we're using
Right.
it. And okay, the boxes I'm trying to tick are not on that list.
just so true, because, and I say that because that's what's been going on with this experience, right? I didn't go to the hardware store. I spent all my time going, and I knew immediately when I asked what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
it was, there's new treatments and you need to go get them. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like, that's not what I really wanted to hear. Has it deepened my own practice? Absolutely. It's changed what the future looked like to me
Mm-hmm.
in that relinquishing more and more control over the businesses, right? And I didn't really know why I was doing it. And I know, Wendy, you went on this journey with me. I didn't really know why I was doing it. And it just was, you're doing too much and there's new treatments. And finally, I conceded and went to the hardware store, right? And then the hardware,
If, for
and
hardware, yeah.
yeah, right. And it is. And it was like, oh, the this energy of this can't go where I need it to go. So this energy needs to get fixed. And there is a fix. And I have to wait a couple months for it to take place, just like it would any other type of
Mm-hmm.
energy you are healing or shifting.
Right.
Right. And then being open to receiving it. And it's funny because, one of the things that my sister and I talked about, those of you who don't know, she's in the medical industry, the Western medical industry. But she's in, what is it called? I can't remember. Integrative health. I don't know. Those doctors that look at everything. It's like functional medicine, but
Integrative?
Integrative.
Integrative. Yeah.
you're all right. That's what she's in. And I was like, I don't know, but she went to my appointments with me because I was like, this is too much. And I said, I don't want someone screwing with my stuff. I don't want stem cell. I don't want all these treatments that have been what they wanted to. Last time I went in, they were like, we're going to do these infusions in your spinal cord. And I'm like, the F you are. Like,
Mm.
no.
Denied. Yeah.
Right? I will sign
Oops.
whatever you need to get out of here. um, but and and so she went with me, and it was really interesting because even she was like, I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to take this first dose, and I didn't read anything. I did what you said. I'm going in blind, and she's like, okay, and now let's manifest it to heal you.
Mm.
And we just sat there and like prayed over the meds.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, that made a huge difference. And so when I went in and they were like, yeah, it's not the meds. It actually is a kidney stone. I was like, well, it's great. They're like, but you have to stop this med that's making it so you can breathe. Oh,
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
So it was it was really interesting when you to what you're saying, Wendy, is most of the people that are treating me right now in Western I've obviously got the right team together because they've all said you would not be healing this fast if it weren't for all of the spiritual growth that you have done yourself, because you don't
Mm.
have the construct of this medicine because it's chemotherapy. So
Mm.
you don't have this construct of this is going to kill me. You're like, oh, this is going to do this. This is great. And you are changing it as it's happening. And like, I'm seeing like 4 different doctors, and they're all saying that. Like, if you hadn't had this lifestyle, the spiritual lifestyle you had, you wouldn't be healing as fast as you are. And so I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you think about your spiritual DNA, Jessica?
I guess that's what's on my mind. Um, I guess it depends on your perspective, but I think it's a gift of forcing me to take the journey I'm supposed to take.
Mm.
And that my soul family has deemed it to be my responsibility for reasons I'm unpacking. And it's about also the purpose I have here, which some of you have talked to about this, of healing others by
Mm.
breaking free from the societal constraints and construct, finding those right doctors, finding the right therapies that work for you, regardless of certifications, and because it's all in our mind, our
Mm.
ego, like Coco Colley's saying, right? And like Emma spends her entire life breaking people out of, you know? I mean, that's your whole thing of what you do, Emma. Um, actually, yeah. Anyway, so it's about an empowerment journey of breaking lots of DNA patterns spiritually and physically,
Mhm.
and about the vibration that humanity is going into. And I think the more I dive into it, the more answers I'll have for others seeking.
Mm. It's
That's what
beautiful.
I think. I have no, it's funny. I don't, people manifest so much financially, and I'm really bad about that. Um, because I don't care. And Coco Collie knows this. It took me a long time to find a material thing to manifest when we were going through some stuff together. And I was like, I don't know. Let me think of something. I don't really, sadly, for some people, I mean, it sounds probably not so wonderful, but I actually don't have needs. I'm quite content usually wherever I'm dropped off at. Um, And that's a whole nother story. It's happened a couple times, and I'm like, I'll figure it out. But
Mhm.
uh, I'm more about the experience of life, and we all have a unique journey here, but humanity is changing so much. Ideology is changing. What is important is changing. The things we have control over are changing. And I look back on history and all the things that have happened in the world and things that people have survived from, which is quite amazing. The human spirit. And most of the time, when you find someone has survived something horrific, you always find that it was their ego they overcame. And it doesn't matter the ideology they had, the experience and environments they were in, and the courage and power and determination and will, that free will that they leaned into. That to me is real manifestation. And that to me is like, that's the journey, right? And we're just in this experience where we're moving away from manifesting monetization of currency, money.
Mm.
And not that we don't need it, it's just becoming easily accessible, actually. Once this is all said and done, it's going to be more accessible for those who take the time to take that spiritual journey to figure it out. So I think it's all intertwined. Um, and that when we heal our soul, all those other things just fall into place. So to me, it's really critical to heal the health soul part, because that's probably the closest thing I have to experience the currency challenge other people have. I,
Mm.
I've, don't get me wrong, I've had that challenge. I've been homeless, I've been broke, I've been like, all those things. But I've been very fortunate in not having that plague my life. And so to have it be health that plagues my life, it's like, okay, this is something I need to learn. This is a challenge I need to overcome the ego with. So that was kind of a long answer, but I obviously have spent a lot of time. I haven't been able to talk for 4 days. I've been thinking.
Yeah.
Oh my
Can
God.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we?
Sorry.
I know we're going to have to wrap it up. I just want to say one of my manifestation heroes is Mother Teresa, because
Yes.
she, was just dedicated to her dharma, right? Doing her spiritual work to help provide food and shelter and clothing for the infirm, by whether it was infirmity by poverty or by illness or by circumstance cast in the era and time that she lived and worked in. And so here she was. Devoted Sangha member, a nun, if you will. And so she didn't earn a paycheck. So her manifestation, whether it was material or spiritual, it was all the same to her. Like, we need
Yes.
doctors. And so she would meet a doctor and be like, you are the doctor that I need to come help, come help. We need clothes, we need money to fix this building, or we need your hands to come fix this stairwell, or whatever it was. There was no separation for her of dollars or wealth or a material item or whatnot. It was just, what do I need to fulfill this purpose that is put before me? And that it's bigger than me to come up with this solution. So, whatever resources appear before me as per divine decree, I will use. And she was a master at that. And I think we all could learn something from observing her life and story and methodology for networking and connecting with people and expanding her ability to receive as she acted as the ultimate doer.
Yeah.
And that's so true and beautiful and perfectly said.
Agreed. Agreed.
We all agree we can change our spiritual DNA, and we all agree we should follow Mother Teresa.
Boom.
She was a force. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She actually, oh God, I can't remember what year it was, but that's she came to me to start the herb company. That's how that started. So
Oh,
she's been a
beautiful.
huge active member of our life. She's got a little altar here at the house.
Mm.
So uh that's awesome. Okay, so given that, that kind of goes into the next piece of like, I'm changing the subject here. So given that, we go into like the state of that, the physical world we live in, and the ideologies of belief, and how it's changing so rapidly, right? Like currency is now no longer paper money and coins, it's digital. A lot of stuff is through facial recognition. I can say that front. Well, and Emma, you probably have experienced this recently as well in your travels. It is vast in other countries outside of America, and you don't need anything except your face to pay for stuff. Um, and the different concepts and fears that come around that, and then also the blind acceptance. And what I mean by blind acceptance is some people are just born into this era, so they don't even question it, whereas other generations question it, or other cultures question it. And then we
Mhm.
have um this experience in other countries right now. Okay, so here's where some of this is coming from. Um, you know, in Nigeria, they're just, let's just be honest, they're massacring Christians like crazy. And the the funny thing is like they're like, was it 4 days ago or some, I don't know, recently, like President Trump was like, we're going in, stop killing these Christians. And I was like, are we getting in a religious war? And Mike turns to me and he's like, we've been in a religious war. I'm like, yeah, but what's the real reason we're going into Nigeria? Like, what's the real reason everyone's going into Nigeria? The minerals. But it's interesting that they're cloaking it with
Yes.
ideology. And so now we're making it a religious thing to turn more people against each other. And I just get so tired of this. And it's like, can't we just like let people be? I mean, obviously we can, but obviously we can't. And then we have all this, the like in some places, sorry, in some places, voting is happening, and they're left and right. Like it's always these labels and always these constructs. And I just was like, gosh, this is so ridiculous. Like, how do you spread free will? How do you spread spiritual enlightenment when this is just being shoved down people's throats, if they want it or not?
Well, like, how much are we engaging and how willing are we to disengage? So, for me, I don't really engage. Like, I don't want to think about, animals that need help. I want to help the animals that need help. I can really do that on a local level.
Mm.
Do I have control over what's going on in other everywheres? No. Like, I need to be here. Do I have like compassion? Do I have a lot of confusion and questions about what's going on in other areas of the world? A lot. And for me, right now, I get to decide, like, how do I want to contribute?
Mm.
Sometimes I contribute with a lot of like being mad and anger and frustration. And sometimes I can contribute from um a place of just bearing witness
Mm.
Mhm.
to what I think I see. Do I always know everything about what's going on that I'm seeing? No. It's a fractal, right? And I don't know what anybody else is here to do. It's a big job for me to be here and figure out what I'm doing. Like, do I want to think about, like, we just had this big uh October 31 being Halloween. And like I wanted to contribute by going and like seeing and witnessing lights and fun stuff, and like I had very little actual energy for it, but I did what I could.
Mhm.
And that, like, am I going to tell myself that's not enough? Because it all comes back to like, what is my reflection of me, right?
Mm.
So, am I going to tell myself that that it's not enough what I am available to do and doing? Or am I going to betray myself
Mhm.
by whatever it is not being good enough and me thinking I should be doing more, which I've been well trained in?
Yeah.
I think,
Like,
sorry, Wendy.
please.
Yeah, I like what you're saying because it looks like we are living the same moment. Because I am in the moment now. I don't know what it is, what the word is, but taking care of myself
Mm.
and surrendering. So I haven't seen the news. I had no idea that everything that you're talking about is happening, but there is always something happening.
Right?
Yeah, but what I am at my mom like texts me, oh my God, the mass murder in Rio. It's like, Mom, I have no idea there was a mass murder in Rio. I have to take care of my business here. I don't have time to think about it. And for the first time, as I told you girls last week, I canceled a class for the first time. So things are shifting. I am surrendering and I have to take care of myself because I realize that my body is not that strong. But just for a fact of like context that you started, Jessica, talking about the United States and why we're going to Nigeria. So in Brazil, since I was a child, we are like this. Why do the United States have to take care of everybody business? Why do they
Right.
have to be there? But they are very strong, so that's good. They're taking care. But in our mind is why do they have to be in all the problems in the world? Do they have to be involved? But nowadays, I don't want to think about, as Wendy said, like it's Halloween, and what we're gonna do, what is tomorrow, what tragedy is happening, and the ice is in Issaquah, are they gonna arrest my students? And it's becoming so much that I am kind of getting inside my shell here in my bed today. I even canceled a big event that I usually have on Sundays because I said, I'm going to spend here. I'm going to have this nice conversation. I don't want to leak my energy that is not so strong now with all these other things because there are always lots of things that eh, those are not the real reasons why they're going and doing that. There are lots of things behind the scene that we don't know, and they play with us like puppets. So they put in the news what the puppets have to listen and learn. So they're playing with us. So, and they are the ones that they not even care what they are doing. I'm sure that Trump is there now playing golf or doing something, not even caring about anything. So yeah, so I don't know. So I am taking care of myself a little bit more and not spending my energy with all these things going around that I cannot do anything right now about them.
I feel very similarly, but I'm in the same boat. Also, I think being out of America now for 7 months or so, it's not like I don't obviously I'm with like Wendy and both what you're saying and Bria, like I care. And some moments I just don't have the capacity or that feeling of what can I care so deeply, but like also I feel helpless and what can I do? And okay, what can I control? As you're saying, like
Yeah.
what are my actual surroundings? Who are the actual people I get to touch in the way I can help and I can serve? Because it's just gonna be and it's tricky though, because there's this other part of me that's like this activist inside, and this other part of me is like, I don't want to be there at all. And because it's painful. And I as well get angry and it feels yeah, it's it's all these ups and downs. But I think this year, starting the year in the States and then spending 7 months outside the States, I'm like, oh, not to say everywhere I've gone has their issues too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Every, everywhere has their issues. Um, but I think just because I have the connection to the States and, my people are there, I feel guilty sometimes. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to deal with this, but then I'm worried. But yeah, I think focusing on what I actually can control, because there's always going to be something else. And also even just witnessing people online and how exhausting it is. Just so you can look at one post of something and it's like, and I just am like, I don't want to engage and lose my energy and fight with people. It just feels, I don't need to do that. I have so many other ways I want to spend my energy, and it's just going nowhere. It feels like so I have certainty that the world will be a better world. And I don't know how sometimes, because it feels very, I don't, yeah, I can get very depressed about it, but I have to just have the faith that somehow it's just going to get better. I don't know how. It's a mystery.
Mm. Coco
Uh,
Kali, what's coming up?
well, there's two things. One, I'm with you guys in the sense of, like, I love that everyone asked the question, what can I do? And then allowing ourselves to be okay with doing that. There's perfectionism doesn't have a place in this conversation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many things outside of
Thank
our
you.
control. But this is also an area where I lean heavily on my spiritual practice. I happen to be, I'm not saying this is how it should be for everyone, but I will share that I work with a teacher who is an enlightened master and has, control over those superhuman abilities and is able to create miracles, is able to shift the weather, is able to change the dynamic in places. And one of the things that we do with this teacher is we spend time each week just chanting for him, just chanting to empower him to be able to more boldly and strongly and powerfully do his work that he's here on the earth plane to do. And so for me, that's one of those things. I can give my energy to that who's more powerful than me, with understanding how to use the energy, how to channel the energy, how to focus it to create good here on the earth plane and beyond. And that's like one of the things that I find pleasure in doing, and helps me to feel like not only am I doing the best I can do on a micro level, but this helps me go beyond my own abilities in a superhuman way.
I like
I
that.
think that's the key though, is it goes back to what we've talked about before. You don't need to understand the how. You just need to understand what could be or what should be and keep going towards that in whatever way it shows up for you, right? For some people, it means that they go into politics. For some people, it means that they're serving at their local food bank, right? Like the government's been shut down for over a month. And I'm like,
So weird.
sweet. But then at the same time, because I'm like, good, you're in too much business anyways. But then it's like, oh, when they open up, the aftermath of that is going to be horrendous. And I'm not keen on the suffering that it's causing. Um, but it is like, well, I don't have the ability to change that. I have my own thoughts and opinions on these things. Um, but it's just being able to be where you're at. It's a global society. And at the same time, if you lose perspective of your local society, that's when you run into challenges, right?
Mm.
Because then you really have no free will. And so if you stay focused, like I was talking about before, on your own mindset, ego, your own experience, and what you can do, what you're called to do, your capabilities. And that's why I think we see a lot of other spiritual people coming out and saying, now is the time, because you can see how lost people are. And it's not their fault. This is all the way
Right.
back to like the Victorian age
Mhm.
when,
And before, yeah,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, for sure. It's a tremendous growing pains is pretty much like if I could just have it in 2 words, it's growing pains. There's a lot
Mhm.
of like disillusionment, dispelment, like that's going away that is very painful. Options are some of them are disappearing. Structures are changing. Some would say breaking, crumbling, collapsing, some.
Mhm.
And it's very painful. And to have lived a life, say, for generations that are older than collectively ours, like they've relied on and seen these structures built for many different reasons. They've lived with these things for a long time. And like our physical DNA that is like 6 generations is included in each of our DNA. I believe that personally that's how connected we are is 6 generations are embodied here. That's how I got it. Um yeah, it's tremendously painful to experience this much change this quickly and not know where we're going. Like we're not all going to get along. Like I kind of came to that like we're not here to get along. Some people are here to do stuff that is radically opposite from what I'm doing or what I'm
Mhm.
here to do. But we're here for it. Like we're here to do what we're here to do. And um
We're here to do what we're here to do.
we are like yeah, yeah. So if we can go back to the soul contract space where we started at the top of this hour, like we forget that we're all friends in the cosmic soup.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, right?
Like so I'm able to breathe a lot easier when I'm remembering that. I'm not saying I'm remembering that a lot, but when I can remember that, like, oh, this was the plan was never for here. The plan was made back here.
Well, and I think too, when you look at just us getting together and doing these,
Mm.
it is a part of the job and the mission and us showing up how we can, right? Because every one of us, even though we're all experiencing things at the same time, we're experiencing them completely differently. And every one of you was selected because of your vast knowledge and life experience and openness and love, right? And understanding free will. And all of you have shown up to heal people and to heal this current construct as we shift into this next one. So we end up having conversations that are everyday conversations, perimenopause, passing out, international travel, getting people to like get stuck from their mental constructs, experiencing different ideologies. Like, all of us are so vastly different. And at the same time, you've all been brought into my life for a reason. And now we're here showing up to help people understand like you're not special. No, none of us are special. We're all unique, but we're all having the same experience.
Mhm.
And how you decide to show up for each one of us has been totally different. And I love it. Like, even now, regardless of what you think of yourself, the amount of souls you have touched, the amount of joy and healing you have brought to other people, all of you have done it. And it's been amazing to watch how I've seen you touch people's lives. I've seen your work change people, and it's beautiful. So I would argue that yes, all this stuff is going on, but you are showing up. and that's all you've got to do.
That's beautiful. And that's
Hi.
history. Yeah, that's beautiful. So beautiful. That's history and that's collective evolution. And I
Mm.
think that if you think about history, how much our ancestors have done for us to be here now, and we are evolving anyway, and we are helping the way we can.
Mm. Thanks, friends.
Right? It's great.